Senator John Fetterman, and especially since, as we all know, he is recovering, and they always want to know, Kathy, what are your thoughts? And I'm assuming they're asking because had my election not been, if those on my side of the political aisle had not come out and lied so horribly on me, then I would have been going up against John Fetterman versus Mehmet Oz. But nonetheless, here's my reaction. I just want to get it on record here. My first reaction when I heard about Fetterman falling due to his heart issues was very simple. One, I hope he's okay, and I hope he recovers. I am not like the left. Unlike the left, I am not dancing on people's graves or their memorials. I am not praying openly that fellow Republican opponents' children are murdered. No, that's evil. Evil people do that, and I am not evil. And so my first thought was, I hope he's okay, and I hope he recovers. I am not an evil person. I do not want harm to come to him. I am genuinely hopeful that John Fetterman will recover and that his heart will stabilize and that his family will be okay. Full stop. Now, shift to a different paragraph, different sentence. Life is not binary. And one of the things I learned on the political campaigns is that most Americans think in straight lines. We think good, bad, up, down, left, right, red, blue, Democrat, Republican, orange man, bad. But most of us also know that that's not life. Life is complicated. Life has many shades. Life has many layers, many contradictions. And that's exactly what John Fetterman, in my mind, is. He is perhaps one of the biggest contradictions. I call him an enigma because if we are to believe that the Fetterman we see today is a genuine transition, then you have to admit the Fetterman of today is vastly different from the Fetterman before the stroke. The Fetterman before the stroke had a very casual relationship with hygiene and a clean t-shirt. The Fetterman after the stroke still doesn't have the strongest relationship in apparel, but it's less sloppy today, right? The Fetterman before the stroke, I remember him unfurling a marijuana flag every day and to hang outside of the People's Lieutenant Governor mansion. The Fetterman before the stroke, if you remember, chased a black man down with a shotgun solely because the black man was jogging in his neighborhood while black. The Fetterman before the stroke was in lockstep movement with the very radical and far right. Now, the Fetterman of today, he openly rebukes his own party. He defends Israel. He speaks more plainly and more reasonably than many Republicans I know. And so if this transition is real, if we are to believe that the Fetterman we're watching today is a true transition from the Fetterman we've always known prior to the stroke, then we have to ask, what happened? What happened to Fetterman? And the only thing that I can think of that remotely begins to question or answer what happened between the Fetterman before the stroke to the Fetterman after the stroke is the stroke. That's the only difference. The only difference between the Fetterman before the stroke and the Fetterman after the stroke is the stroke. Something happened, something reset, something neurologically rewired. And most of us know that a stroke is a very traumatic brain injury. It's a strange way, maybe a merciful way, that it appears to have jolted something in the mind of Fetterman to get him to start thinking more reasonably. Because again, the left is literally advocating, or they voted for socialism. They're advocating for boys and girls sports. They open up our borders 20 plus million illegals walking in. They think it's perfectly fine that 42 million Americans are on food stamp and dependent upon the government. Something has broken in the minds of these people. And suddenly, after a stroke, John Fetterman begins to have a closer relationship with common sense. He's actually have spoken out against his party with boys taking showers with little girls. So again, you have to ask yourself what happened. And the only thing that happened, the only difference between before the stroke and after the stroke is the stroke itself. And something has jolted in the mind of this man. Now, where do I land on John Fetterman? Is very simple for me. I do not want him harm. I am glad he is still alive. It is my prayer that he will recover and be well and fine with his family. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for any place in the world where a Democrat, a radical Democrat, can break from the insanity and begin to get a closer relationship with common sense. I'm very grateful for that. But I also believe this, that if he truly wants to show that he has changed, if he truly wants to model sanity in an insane political culture, then he should take his own advice. If you've read his book, he should take his own advice and quit. Step back, go home, sit down, recover outside of the cameras. I don't need another politician to suffer in the political space. What we need are people in positions of power to stop lying to us and to do what is necessary for our country to heal. That's my take.